Hey guys, JH. Welcome to Practice Team. It's been raining again here in beautiful downtown Australia. Okay guys, now over the years we've gone down a lot of roads in terms of how to swing a golf club and different methodologies, and different processes, different mechanics. But there's a really basic foundational issue, and that is that if you've been swinging a golf club for any length of time, if you're a reasonable player, you know, club player, and you've been swinging with a swing for a reasonable period of time, and you've hit the ball okay on occasions, then there's no reason why you can't hit the ball well all the time. And I think really for all of us, for every single one of us, club players, better players, and tour players and elite players, I think the one thing that really is vital and crucial when you're swinging well, and that is tempo. Now I remember when I had lunch with Sam Snead back in the mid-90s, and it was for about 2 hours, and it was great, and we spoke about a lot of things, and he knew a lot of the Australian players and I related a lot of stuff about them, you know, the famous Australian players that I knew, and so we got on pretty well. And I said to Sam, look, you know, your swing is the epitome of the repeating, lasting golf swing with simplicity attached to it. It looks the same. It's always looked the same. It never looks any different. What is the secret to having a golf swing that looks the same, is the same, and it looks pretty simplistic? And he said, to tell you the truth, the only thing I've ever really worked on in my golf swing, once I established the mechanics, he said I had to learn to swing a golf club like everybody else. He said people said that I was a natural swinger of the golf club. He said I wasn't. He said I had to learn to swing the golf club. But he said when I got it, he said when I was learning it, he said there was one basic structure mechanism that I found was instrumental in me hitting the ball good all the time. And that was purely and simply tempo. Just tempo, trying to get the same tempo and the same evenness of tempo and consistency of tempo in every shot. And he said, I never worked on mechanics. After I got my swing going, I never ever worked on mechanics. I just worked on tempo. And invariably the tempo always allowed me to let my innate mechanics come out, because they weren't blown out of sequence by bad tempo. And I said, so okay, tempo is one man's tempo is not another man's tempo. I said tempo is the pace of the swing. Now it can be fast or it can be slow. I said you were slow. You had beautiful, consistent tempo. Now I said, you know, Tom Watson had great tempo, but he was quick. He said, yeah, but he was the same. And he said, and I was the same. And he said, no, and Jack was the same. He said, all the great players had the same tempo. Even Hogan was very brisk. He said, but it was the same tempo. And we spoke about Mo Norman at that time. And he said, well, you look at Mo. He said Mo, these days, and he said even when he was young, he said he was actually quite brisk, but he said he had the same tempo. It was exactly the same. And what we did, guys, we just had a bit of a fool around here the other day. For me, my problem was always being quickness and shortness. Well, it wasn't in the early days when I played golf, but when I had that 7 years off and I came back, I had a short, quick golf swing. And it stayed that way. But getting back to Snead, he said, look, I never worked on anything but tempo. He said, I just tried to, even when I started out, he said, if I was hitting it a bit thin or a bit whatever, indifferent. He said I'd still work on the tempo. I wouldn't try and change anything. I know that my tempo wasn't quite right. And as soon as I got the feeling of the tempo and the completeness of the tempo, he said everything else came back into to sync. And what we did here the other day with a couple of buddies of mine was I relayed that story to them. And I said, I remember Wayne Grady, who's a guy who lives up the road up here, and I used to watch Wayne practice in the early days, and I got to tell you, like, he wasn't a great ball striker as such. I mean, you wouldn't say he was in the Greg Norman, you know, quality of impact off the face, but he never hit the ball offline, ever. He might hit it a bit thin or a bit, you know, toey or a bit heely, but he always hit it straight, and the flight always looked the same. And that's because this was Wayne Grady. Wayne Grady used to do this. He actually used to pause at the top of his swing and used to hit it, and he did it every time. And that was a good thing. I mean, he could miss-hit it a little bit, but he'd always hit it on line. And even Sneed said that. He said everybody thinks that, you know, the top line players, we hit it in the centre of the club all the time. He said we don't do that. He said, but the good thing is that our misses are not damaging. Our misses invariably will go on the green or in the fairway. And that's because the club is coming back in a position where it can get that type of consistent impact. Now, guys, the good thing about even tempo, and I said to Sam, so what's, in my opinion, and I said to Sam, that in my opinion, the byproduct of good tempo is that it completes the backswing. And if we ever complete the backswing, no matter what length of golf swing we've got or what speed we've got, if we complete the backswing, then the lower part of the body is always going to get a lead on the upper part. And that's the secret to good ball striking, is having the lower body lead the upper body. Simplest explanation you can get. The lower body must lead the upper body in every golf swing. And if you complete your backswing, this just wants to happen. And you see that in all great golf swings. There's always this while this is still completing. Now, Jack Nicklaus's main swing thought for his whole career was just complete the backswing. Complete the backswing. And I saw Jack in Australia in 1986, and he was here for a couple of days doing a skins film with a Japanese TV company at the Australian Golf Club in Sydney in 1986. And it was Greg Norman, Seve and Tom Watson. And they were there for 2 days. There was no one there. There was only a few people there, and we were there. And and the one thing that was really evident with Jack, even when he was practicing, if you stood there and you really watched it close, was that it was okay, it was here, and then it was, but this was always staying up the top, waiting to go. I'm going to say this, the whole top half was waiting there to go. And we just, yeah, you guys know what my golf swing's like. I mean, it's not something you would look at to conjure up any images of tempo. It's just not a tempo type golf swing. But what I did was, because I'm a very pragmatic type of person, I understand the neural processes and how we operate as a human mechanism from a neural command point of view. I'm pragmatic enough to know that if I can do that in a practice swing, I can do that in a golf swing. I just have to get the program for it. I don't have a program for doing that in a golf swing. But if I can do it in a practice swing, and guys, I've still got this flu, just can't shake it. But if I can do it in a practice swing, I can certainly do it in a golf swing. And so we just fiddled around for a while, and we were doing this. You've never seen J.H. swing like that. Guys, that's what we were doing. And I was hitting the ball. hitting the ball like we've never hit it before. It was just ridiculous. And the softer that tempo got, and as Snead said, he always felt like it was about 85% application with his golf swing. Unless it was a big wide open fairway, his terminology was, he said I could rear back and give it a hit. He said there was no trees or something like that, big wide fairways. He said most time it was only about 85%, 90% max. Never tried to hammer it. And he said that comes about by having good tempo. If you concentrate on good tempo, here, you don't feel like you want to hit it hard. Now, I haven't hit any shots today, guys, and it's very wet here. Today they weren't going to open the range today because it was flooded. I'm glad they did, but it's still, the weather's not nice. But I'll just hit a shot here. Now this will be a good indicator of what tempo can do on a swing that maybe if you don't hit it correctly, because you know the first shot I probably won't hit it because I haven't hit any shots. Not warmed up at all. But watch this, guys. And all I'm going to try and do is just take it back with good tempo. Good shot for the first one of the day. Now that's a tight golf swing, so that hasn't got the tempo that we need. But just take it back. Now both those are acceptable shots. They're not timed, but that tempo is not great either. See if I can improve on that tempo. Okay, just try and get it a little bit fuller. Get the swing a bit fuller. Really stiff. Now that's a lot slower than I normally swing, and I'm tight. All right, I'll try and really smooth it out, have a nice backswing. I mean, that's just a great shot. And that's just perfect. Now that's more like the tempo. Now that's what, taking half a dozen shots to get that? But they're just perfect, guys. Perfect shots. Watch this. Now that's a lot slower than JH normally swings. And all I'm thinking about is tempo, nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. Really try and put good tempo. Now if I could just get a little bit of that Grady pause, or a little bit of Sam's fullness in the golf swing, anyway, mate. So this is just tempo, guys, nothing else. There it is. Now we're inside a dozen shots. And we only tried it the other day, guys. It was only the other day when we were trying it, so it's like second day into it. But it's all right. Now we're fully warmed up. This will be perfect tempo for JH. There it is, guys. That's 5-iron. That's gone 4-iron distance. No wind here today. That's 4-iron distance, 5-iron. And what happens, a little bit off balance when I hit the ball then, but that's because there's so much velocity in the shot. Now guys, the message here is that if I can do it, you can certainly do it. Because I fight, you know, the really tough tempo, the quick tempo all the time. All right, see if we can put a beautiful, okay, really concentrate on this. Okay, so pick target change. There it is, guys. Wow. Just doing a video on tempo.
Camera quick enough to catch me off?
No, it was only about first 6 shots, just about 80% timing, but it's dead straight. But now they're right on the money. Just talking to my buddy here who's one of my tempoites. Yeah, so guys, all you've got to do is think about is forget everything else. Just try and take the club back as full as you can, as smooth as you can, and give yourself a chance to change direction. So we really bust this. That's pretty simple. And of course, you know, you don't commit as you should do when you're doing the videos, because you want to get it on video. Really try and do a good job. There it is, guys. There it is. You know what I feel? When I get the full backswing, I feel this. Or when I get the full tempo, I feel that. I feel that drop. And that's what really, that's my key. Once I can feel that little bit of sort of drop, I know that I've gone back fully. There it is again. They're good shots. They are very good shots. So guys, whatever type golf swing you've got, forget everything, forget all the mechanics, and just try and work. Go out and have a practice session where you think about nothing but smoothness of tempo, and try and complete the backswing. Now if I can get that little imperceptible pause, which I haven't yet, maybe I'll try for it. There it is. Now that's gone. Well, let's just land it up in front of where I normally hit 3 irons. It's 5-iron. Honestly guys, that's landed where I normally hit 3 irons. So that just gives you so much indication of how much zip is in this golf swing if you let the golf swing build its zip. Here we go. One more. There it is, guys. I'll never hit a better shot than that, ever. And you don't get any wides. Those first couple of shots, they were a little thin, but they went dead straight. And these are just right in the middle of the golf club. Okay. Now try and put a big swing on this, Jace. One more. I haven't really got the tempo I had the other day because I'm trying to do the video before the rain, but I'll try and put a really good backswing on this. There it is, guys. There it is. I'm not trying to think I want to be slow through the ball or anything like that. Not at all. I just want to complete the backswing, and whatever that does for the golf swing in terms of speed, let it happen. You wouldn't say Sneed was slow through the ball. That was really long. You get a little bit of cross-programming like that, whereas the old swing wants to take over, because you've got to be totally committed when you stand over it with your thought process. You've got to say, complete the swing. Complete the swing. Okay, let's complete it. Yeah, that's completing it. Okay, let's just have a look at it with a couple of drivers, because I was busting the driver, absolutely killing it. I mean, really long. Okay, and we grip everything down, guys. Here we go. No wind, so this should be good. My buddy over there is just a little bit taken back by that. I mean, that was just downtown. Downtown. I love this grip down, guys. Watch this. Just a big, smooth one. They're the two best drives I've hit since I've been here, Adrian. Two best drives I've ever hit since I've been coming to this driving range. They were unbelievable. Just telling my buddy there. Yeah, there's a sign up here, guys. It's 260 metres and a tree about I think it's 9 yards to the right of it, and both those drives went right between them, right between that gap. There's another one. There's three in a row. That's what we call a hat trick in Australia. All right. Now I talk to guys and tell people that when they're doing something right, they've got to really think about what they're doing. Now I'm going to remember exactly what I have to do here. Last shot, and I'll hit it between that sign and the tree. There it is, guys. Scout's honour. Just killed that. Killed it. Okay, guys, just something on tempo. So how do we learn it? Just try and do this. Soften everything up, shoulders, arms, everything. Just go back here and feel the club sit here. Feel it sit like it's in a rack. Take it back, feel like it's in a rack, and then just sit down for the downswing. Got to hit one more. I haven't felt that feeling off the face of a driver for a long time. Quite intoxicating, actually. And this golf club demands that. It's a very stiff golf club, low spin. That was only because there's nothing wrong with the shot, but the tempo was a bit grabby because the ground is wet and I've only got these soft spikes on, and when I tried to grab the ground with my feet on the downswing, just lost a bit of footing, which made me get a bit anxious. But still went dead straight. The tempo wasn't any good. All right, last shot. Really sit on your heels, JH. And hit it like that. You know, I think I can actually take it back just a little bit further than that. I might miss-hit this because I'm going to overdo it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'll take it back as far as I can and try for the little pause. Even if you don't get a pause, if you think you're going to get a pause, the main thing is it's all about what happens over there. Okay guys, that's just about tempo and how that can improve or just get you back to your own mechanics, whatever they are, working okay. Invariably we just get out of tempo and then we build on getting out of tempo for a long time. Okay guys, that's just the benefits of tempo.